lost all control. Gravity is all that I know. She's over me. She's over me. She comes with her hypnotic dance. She holds me here with only a glance. She's over me. She's over me. Well, you know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for the Paranormal Portal. I'm your host, Brent Thomas, and we are live and unscripted and largely unprepared. But that's how we roll here. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's Saturday night, and we have just a laundry list of fun lined up for you guys, so I know you're going to enjoy it. If you don't, there's something wrong with you. There's got to be something wrong with you if you don't enjoy this. But, you know, it's not just me here. Excuse me.
Oh, my God.
I drank Coca-Cola, and it's like all of a sudden it's just kicking my tail. So I apologize, but I'm being polite about it. Just pretend my mic wasn't working there. Welcome to the show, not only for me, but for my good friend and co-host, Mr. Don Longbeard.
Good evening.
Hey, try again.
Good evening.
Oh, that was much better.
Thank you. Gosh, yes.
You had a chance to rehearse your line there.
Yeah, like, what's my motivation?
Yeah, well, I'm still wondering that.
Entertainment. There's a lot of entertaining on in this body.
We are motivated to entertain all of you guys. And, of course, the phone lines will be open throughout the duration of our journey tonight.
Whether that's good or bad, we have yet to find out.
Well, that's always the case. We don't ever know what we're going to get on those lines, but usually it's great. Great call-ins. Last night we had a great call-ins, series of great call-ins. And thank you to all who participated with me last night as I was going through the portal, driving the ship alone. But I got Don here to help me through it tonight. How you been, Don?
Good. It's been a long Saturday.
Has it?
But guess what?
What?
It's Saturday night.
It is. Yes. I don't
Yes.
know if that's trademarked or not, but I don't think they can trademark that because it's a day of the week. It's a day of the week.
Okay, sorry. Let me say it this way. It's Saturday night.
Yeah, that's. Let me try it.
Okay.
It's Saturday night. Sorry, I love my buttons. Did you enjoy that?
Yes, it was.
Did you enjoy that,
yes,
Don?
It was awesome.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Oh, jeez! I'm like, what the? I'm like, where the hell did that come from?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That's my
canned ham.
This is the Paranormal Portal budget right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the best we can do for sound effects.
Give that back to Minion.
No, it's mine now. It's mine. I bought it.
Oh no!
Thank you.
Does it got a little? Does it got a little dum dum dum?
No.
Drum roll or
Oh, it's got
something?
a rim shot, I think. Oh, it's the worst sounding thing ever, though.
That's not a rim shot.
It was a roll and a cymbal. I don't know. That's all I got, though, ladies and gentlemen. We'll use that for Don's jokes on the show. So anyway, we're getting all stupid and silly because, ladies and gentlemen, this is the last show you're going to hear from us live at,
Yes, this is it. We're done.
We're done after this. This is our last YouTube live show. We're just going to be hanging it up.
Oh,
so-
hell no, Wes.
What did he say? What?
He says Don doesn't know it, but we have a bet going, and it's up to $600 for all for charity on if I can hold Don down and shave his beard. If I can. Do you realize that I am law enforcement trained to deal with people who are incarcerated?
No, yeah, but he's not incarcerated. Will it still
No,
work?
but we'll bring. Oh, are we going to bring Little Wes to the IBC?
No, probably not. Probably he's going to stay here in the studio. I'm
I
not
think
packing the studio with
That'd be
us.
funny.
But yeah, that's IBC's coming up. No, but we're gonna hang it up. No more live streams here on YouTube. So hope you guys will be okay with that for the next week.
Oh, Nessie, you're such a sweetie.
What'd she say?
She says, throws herself in front of Don. You shall not take the beard.
We find out what that chin was all about.
I have a cleft chin. That's why
Yeah, well,
that's why I grew it to begin with.
okay. I'd like to see. I might, that wrestling match should be interesting. Anyway.
You're fired.
Just saying. If it's pay per view and all, we could probably cover our expenses.
If I can make 1.5 mil off it, I might shave. I might just do it for fun.
Yeah, we could cover our expenses at least that way. So I'm just saying, it's got to be an investment, Don.
Yeah, it's got to be a big investment. Jeez.
Wes will be manscaping you in the back.
Oh my God! No, my name's not Tony. Wes, no.
Yeah.
I gotta pimp my wares.
That was funny. One of the classics, ladies and gentlemen.
Man.
Definitely one of the classics.
I'm glad it's immortalized on the portal too.
It is. It's kind of everywhere. Yeah. I mean, that got a lot of
Awesome.
a lot of attention on, of course, Sasquatch Chronicles, and we did showcase it here.
And we haven't been hit with a copyright on it either.
Oh, really? We hadn't?
No.
Yes, we have.
The first time, but not the second time.
Both times.
No, on the Parathon?
Yeah, we got hit on it every time we played it.
No, we didn't. Then why didn't you tell me that a long time ago?
I don't know. Well, maybe not. Maybe they only flagged it once. That might be true. You might be right, Don. It's okay though. It was worth the hit in either case because
I'm sure they didn't find it. The algorithm didn't find that one.
they didn't have time to invest in that search.
I hit it well.
Yeah, did you? Okay. Well, there you go. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. We are going to take a week off. So just so you know, on the front end, it's just we need to disconnect from this and focus on the upcoming things that we're doing, things that need doing and haven't been able to be done. So that's going to be this next week's project list, and it's pretty daunting, but we'll get done what we can. And
we have a busy March ahead of us, anyhow.
Yeah, we really do. We really do, and a lot of things going on. So anyway, but welcome to the show. Let's see. What do you suppose we should start with the hot sheets?
Yeah, always. Hot sheets are always a great way to start.
Yeah, it is. I gotta say they do a great job, and the hot sheets, ladies and gentlemen, on the Paranormal Portal are the singular40in.com, singular and then 40 in all one word .com. It's run by the Waylands, and they do a fantastic job, and I like checking it out. We got a call already. Let's see who's on the horn, though, shall we?
Yes, please.
Okay, and this is area code 478. You're on the air.
Hi. I was wanting to tell you guys about a portal that I stumbled upon once upon a time.
Wow. Okay.
And
we'd love to hear about it for sure.
Yeah, a friend. My name's Diana. I live in Oregon right now. The portal was in Georgia.
Oh, fantastic.
A friend of mine was a hunter, and he belonged to this hunting club, and while he was out there, he stumbled in the forest on a cemetery that was there, that was all overgrown and all. And he knew that, me and my husband, we love the paranormal, so, he invited us out there when the hunters weren't out there, to go check it out.
Sure.
And while we were checking out the cemetery, we were just walking around and seeing, what else we might be able to, find out there. We went, one night, and this mist started rolling in from the west. And when we shined our flashlights on it, it would retreat. It would jump back 20 or 30 feet,
Oh, wow.
which is not normal behavior for a mist. Normally
Yeah.
when you turn on lights, it makes it look more dense, even though it's not more dense, but
Sure.
you know how it reflects the light, so, it doesn't go away.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this would jump back.
Oh, that's
So
really
we
strange.
thought that was really odd, and we were playing with it for a while, and then we, finally ended up leaving. Well, we went back because we were curious about that, and we stood there with our lights off another night, and sure enough, the mist rolled in. This time, first time was from the west, the second time was from the north.
Oh.
And I decided to go in.
Into the mist?
And when I went in, I was talking to, we were there with, some friends and my husband. And, I was calling out to see if they could hear me because I'm like, this is really weird. I don't know if I'm going in another dimension or what's going on.
Yeah.
But they could hear me, and then they wanted to come in too. And one thing I had noticed when I was in there was where it was dense forest, it all of a sudden opened up into a field.
Oh, my God.
And when they came in, they could see it too. And it was just like you weren't crashing into trees as you're walking. It was just an open field. But we were able to turn on lights, and once again, the mist would jump back about 30 feet, and we were standing in the middle of dense forest again.
Oh.
And then
wow.
we went back one more time with the military friend who thought we were just pulling his leg. Like, no way, there is no way this is happening,
Uh-huh.
And we brought him out, and he got to experience it too. It did the same thing. We stood there with our lights off. It would roll in. And if you turned your lights on, it would jump back. But if you turned them off again, it would roll back in slowly, but it would roll in. And if you went into it, the scenery was different. It wasn't like a dense forest anymore. There was big open spaces where you could, walk and
Was there any ambient light?
not crash into anything.
Was there any ambient light on the inside of it?
Excuse me?
Was there any ambient light? Like when you were in this field area?
Oh, from the moon.
Okay, so there was a moon.
Yeah, from the moon.
Was the moon the same?
And our eyes would adjust to the dark. But, yeah, it was the strangest thing.
What?
And then we wanted to go back and check it out during the daytime, and it had been logged.
Oh, no.
So the whole thing was ruined, and our friend that was a hunter there, he went back out one night, and he had told us, he says, no, the fog's not rolling in anymore. It's just gone.
Wow.
Everything's gone.
That's so tragic. Now,
But, yeah,
was the moon the
I
same?
know.
Was the moon the same? Like between the two spaces, like you're in the forest, there's a moon, and you go into this field, there's also a moon. Is it the same cycle of moon? Did it look the same as it did?
I don't know because I didn't really think to look.
Okay, but both places had an ambient moonlight where you could see
Wow.
at least what was going on, is what you're telling us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh,
Right. But if you turned on a flashlight, it would jump back.
that is so intense. You might be the only person I've ever talked to
Yeah,
that has done this.
I know. I've been listening to paranormal shows, and you guys, for a while, trying to see, does anybody else have anything like this happen to them? And, it was just the one spot. I've never run into that again. But
That is so intense.
It
yeah,
kinda,
it was.
it kind of brings back some of those stories that we talk about when we talk about like missing time or time slips, where somebody's walking down the road and they turn a corner and all of a sudden, the block looks like it's the 1800s or something like that. That's the only thing I could compare that kind of thing to. But I have to commend you on being brave enough to walk into the fog. That's that was, you said that and I was like, she did what? I was like, but that's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of like time slips and dimension shifts.
And a Stephen King book.
True. Yeah.
But now here's the
I have had a time slip before, but that wasn't connected to fog.
Wow.
Okay. Well, I will tell you that the ancient Druids regarded fog as a very sacred substance, and it was during fogs when they would do their portal spells, oddly enough. And the idea was that it would give you access to the other world, or whatever they called it. I don't remember from when I researched this, but the object was you couldn't touch anything on the other side if you went through a portal, and you were never to bring anything back with you. If you didn't get out of that portal before the fog lifted, you'd be trapped there forever, was the belief.
Yeah, I was worried about that. I didn't know about all that, but I was worried that, we might end up stuck over there and we didn't know where there is.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That is really intense. Would you mind telling us about your time slip experience?
Oh, not at all. Yeah, that was when I was driving with a boyfriend at the time from Georgia to Tennessee to go camping. And I was the navigator, so I was watching all the exit signs, to check for, where our next turn was. And for no apparent reason, we were suddenly back maybe 8-10 miles. We were just suddenly behind, and we were seeing the same exit signs come up again. And it wasn't I-285, which is circular. It was a straight highway.
Wow.
So I don't know what happened, but where we would have gotten to our campsite during daytime, because of that, we were getting there a little close to sundown because we were, pushing it anyway. But, yeah, other than just, we were suddenly back where we had been before. I don't know how to explain that. We didn't see anything weird.
Mm-hmm. No,
it was just weird, a strange experience.
Yeah, I've experienced that before myself, and I didn't feel anything either when it happened to me. I was driving in a blizzard and was coming up to a really treacherous part of the road.
Oh, wow.
And I was really worried about it because it was extraordinarily dangerous, and I wasn't sure I could do it. And suddenly I was a few miles past that place. Like I totally skipped the bad place in the road. And it was incredible. And my son my son was with me. So it was like this, divine intervention or whatever. I don't know, but it was incredible. And both my son and I looked at each other and went, "Oh my God, what the hell just happened?"
Yeah.
But there was no feeling with it at all. It just boom, it happened. So really crazy.
Yeah, that's how it was for us. It's like, how can we be at, such and such exit again, because we passed that miles back, and it was just, and then it was following suit, and we're like, what happened? But we don't know.
Wow, that's intense. Very, very cool.
Yeah,
those are both really incredible experiences, and very rare too, by the way. But you are the only person I know that has gone into a into a fog bank.
Yeah, wow.
An intelligent fog bank. I've never heard that before, but it's exciting but creepy because there's an intelligence behind it, at least it seems. And that's, concerning.
Yeah, that's how it seems, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, I've since heard about UFO, alien type things, and people sometimes report, some kind of fog or something first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, fog is just part of...
Yeah, I didn't know about all that when I experienced it.
Wow.
That's really cool. How long ago was this, by the way, the fog?
But, let's see, maybe 20 years?
20 years. Oh. Now,
about 20 years, yeah.
Have you gone back since at all? Because as that place may be regrowing?
No, because I live in Oregon now.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I forgot that part.
That was in Georgia, and it was such a convoluted way to even get there that I needed a hunting friend to guide us every time, because it was back country roads and dirt roads, and make a right here and make a left there, and I wouldn't have been able to find it without him, and I've been out of touch with him since he got married.
Oh, okay. Well,
he kind of, his life kind of went one way and ours went another.
Sure.
And,
yeah, that happens a lot, unfortunately, but that is really cool. I really, really appreciate that you called in and shared that here. That is amazing.
Oh, well, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, well,
If you have,
I've got other paranormal stories too that maybe I could call back sometime.
oh, we'd love to hear from you for sure.
Yeah,
If
absolutely.
you've got a bunch of them, just call me or email me at paranormalportalradio@gmail.com, and I'll have you as a guest on the podcast.
There you go.
Oh, thank you. I don't know if I'd make a good guess. But
Well, you've made a good
You-
guess
you
so far.
I've had a lot of
Talk is fine.
experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all. That's the only requirement.
Yeah, it's just got to be paranormal, and you've already been a good guest, so you've already passed the first test.
Excellent.
Oh, well, thank you.
So if you would, yeah, you reach out by email. Hey, well, let's get together and record all of this. I think that'd be amazing.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
Excellent.
y'all have a good evening, and I'm going to get back to listening to the show.
All right. Thank
Wow.
you.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
Wow.
Thank you.
That's very cool.
You know, that's ballsy walking into an unknown.
Especially when you're like, you already see this fog and it's already acting
it's already moving away
avoiding
from you.
Yeah, it's avoiding light actively, and that's like, well, that's not just a normal fog,
Right.
And I'm thinking like Stephen King, The Mist, in my head.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, what's inside of there? What's inside of that? Because it's not the normal stuff.
Right. Craziness.
Oh, I'm glad it all worked out for whatever, But what a cool experience. It's a cool experience if you can tell about it later.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you can't,
There's so many that, I had this one experience, but I can't remember it. Or I knew this person that had an experience, but I haven't heard from him. It's a little bit different that way.
yeah, absolutely. Very cool.
Wow.
Well, let's get back to the hot sheets, ladies and gentlemen, because that's just how we roll. How are we doing on time, I wonder?
I don't know.
I don't know either. We got about 6 minutes.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
We went through the first half hour pretty quickly, ladies and gentlemen.
Quick.
Let's see. Where are we at? Police in Pueblo, Colorado respond to report of demonic sounds at local McDonald's.
Oh God. Yeah. 'Cause-
I'm not sure what's going on in that bathroom, but
Yeah, I was gonna say.
sounds like a
You might
demon.
want to check the bathroom for exorcisms.
I can smell it sulfur
Oh
breath.
God. Oh no.
I smell sulfur,
Oh,
and I hear growling. All right, let's see what's going on here. If it's a quick read.
Maybe he cut back on those jalapenos.
Yeah, this is a pretty quick one. Exactly. I don't know how many jalapenos are at McDonald's. Do they have them?
No, but
All right. Here we go. It says police in Pueblo, Colorado responded to a call early last Thursday from employees at a local McDonald's who reported hearing a woman screaming and making demonic sounds, to include speaking in a strange language and barking outside of the restaurant. According to Captain Tom Rummel, the watch commander for the Pueblo Police Department's graveyard shift, at about 3:30 this morning, officers responded to a business in the local area of Pueblo Boulevard in Northern. Employees reported hearing a woman screaming and making demonic sounds, to include speaking in a strange language and barking. They were so unnerved by the sounds that that's where it cut off. Let me see. And the 3 officers searched the area but didn't come up with the source of the disturbances. Okay. Huh. The employees were reportedly so frightened by the sounds that they refused to leave the building until after the sun came up. Wow, that's pretty feared. That's a lot of fear. Right, Don?
yes.
Okay, welcome to the show. This area of Pueblo has a higher than average crime rate, and Pueblo itself is well above the average in its region for violent crime. Pueblo's incidents of violent crime are 150% higher
Wow.
than the rest of the state. 150% and 160% above the national average. Similarly, the area has been disproportionately affected by an increase in drug abuse, with the number of overdose deaths from methamphetamine nearly tripling from 6 in 2014 to 16 in 2018. Since the authorities were unable to locate the source of the sound, it is unclear if violent crime or drug abuse played a role in the incident. Well, here's the thing, especially with demonic stuff. I mean, unfortunately, chronic drug abusers and demonic possession isn't a whole lot, whole stretch apart. people under the influence of those chemicals are believed to be very, very, very susceptible
Right.
to demonic possession, oppression, and so on and so forth. And so it doesn't surprise me, I guess, if there's a rampant drug abuse problems in an area that would be the case. But man, that's disturbing.
Yeah.
What would you do, Don? You're at the local McDonald's and someone outside is growling and speaking in tongues and stuff.
I think a flamethrower would help with that.
Don's gonna just.
I have an aversion to people speaking in tongues in the first place.
Oh, gotcha. Well, yeah.
You know.
Man's got to have his limits, I suppose.
And here's mine. But yeah, no, flamethrower sounds good.
It does, doesn't it? I don't know, man. That's creepy. I don't know what I would do either. It's like you'd want to help, of course, because it's got to be heart-wrenching to see someone going through that kind of torment. But
How are you going to help?
I don't know. You go out there and say prayers, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
Like grab your pocket Bible and or your holy water or whatever you got in your pockets. I don't know. Some dryer lint. I don't care. I bless this in the name of God. No, I don't know. It's you definitely wouldn't want somebody to be in that torment though. That would be horrible.
No, that would be.
I don't know.
That's like that break segment you have with the woman that she's like the Japanese woman in the store, and she reaches in and grabs it.
Yeah, that thing falls off the shelf and she reaches down and picks it up, trying to be a good person, and she ends up with a quick little possession.
A quick little possession.
Yeah, well, the guy was right there to clear it.
That's true.
Which was very fortuitous. But that was a creepy video for sure. That's why it's on that segment.
That's a good segment.
It is.
It creeps a lot of people out.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of weird stuff on there. I can't verify, any of it really, but at least it looks compelling. It seems to portray a lot of what we talk about, whether it is actually legitimate or not. Who knows? But we are at about 30 seconds until the break, ladies and gentlemen. So that was a good segue into break. Stick around after the show tonight. Paisley Wild will be up next with Spaces Between. And then following her, the Duke.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. We're taking off early.
An hour.
We're just going to go to break. So don't go away, everybody. We'll be right back with more of the fun that is the Paranormal Portal. And,
stuff.
Other mayhem as well. We'll be right back. It's very faint.
It is.
The break music is quite faint. All right, we're going to go to break. Hey guys, we're back. Did you miss us?
No.
We missed you guys.
That's
Totally.
true, yeah.
We did. Oh, thank you. Thank you
Oh
very
my
much.
God.
Thank you, everybody. It's wonderful to be here. We appreciate it. Because when you're here, you get all this for free. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. This is how I get through Fridays now, Don.
Oh God.
It's because
Oh
I'm
God.
sitting here in a bubble and I'm talking to myself, so it doesn't feel like I'm so alone anymore.
Oh my goodness.
Yep, it's got all kinds of great sounds, Don. That was the gas.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
Oh jeez.
This is $5 of Walmart fun right here, ladies and gentlemen.
That cost you $5?
I don't know what the hell it was. We bought it around Christmas time.
Oh boy.
It was in one of those bins of crap that they got there for, whatever. I probably paid about $4.50 too much for it.
I
But,
would say so. I'm pretty sure the Dollar Tree has something better for you.
well, I'll have to swing by there and see what they got for the sound effects.
Oh no.
Because that's about the portal budget right now, ladies and gentlemen. However, you can help change that. Check out the links in the description. Help us increase our budget. But anyway, I don't know. What do you do? It's our last show, Don. You got to have fun with it.
Apparently you steal things from your child.
It's not stealing so much as I loaned it.
Yeah, he's borrowed
sure.
it indefinitely.
I actually bought it because I thought it'd be hilarious. And then when I heard the fine quality of it, I went, oh, God, this is horrible. And it became his.
And
But
then all of a sudden you went, well, I need something.
I need something. You looked at the portal checkbook and went, no, I need something a lot less. So,
Oh my.
so here we are, ladies and gentlemen. So welcome back to the show. The phone lines are open. 720-923-0500 is your passport to fun. You can also email us at paranormalportalradio@gmail.com. That's another way to get in touch with us here at the show. We love to hear from you guys because it gives us purpose and scope. It gives me purpose and scope. And I feel like Johnny Carson, and you're like my Ed McMahon. Yes, sir. Yes.
No, I don't say yes, sir.
You can just say yes.
No, I just go, oh my God.
That's probably true. That fits.
Oh goodness.
Well-
Bob in Germany says, this is the last show? No, it's the last show for a week. We're taking a week off.
Yeah. Yep. It's just the last show for a week. We need to get some priorities straightened out and get some things done that need doing in order to move the show forward.
To expand the portal verse.
Yeah, well, we're going to try anyway.
Yeah.
I might actually redo something with the studio here too behind us. I don't know. We'll see how ambitious I get in this whole idea. I got this grand idea of this week,
This is the grand
and it's probably going to be me and YouTube like kittens.
Squirrel.
Yeah, exactly.
Watch kitty videos
Yeah, I'm gonna watch kittens. Oh, they're so cute.
on the live stream.
Oh, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Is it not?
See a live stream.
Okay. Well, this is still rolling, but I'm gonna refresh it.
Yeah.
Let's just see what's going on, because I got to be able to know that it's actually working.
Well,
That's kind
it's
of
working,
important.
so, yeah.
Okay.
It
All right.
is.
Yep, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what the hell's going on. It's
Welcome
the portal.
to the portal.
So, back to the Singular 40, ladies and gentlemen, where we are going to look into a report from 2006 of a large, dark being with cape-like wings in Bensonville, Illinois.
Illinois.
again with Illinois, but it's from 2006, so it's
True.
14 years old. But
True.
that's still, what the hell is in Illinois, and why are they still popping up over there? I think some of these have been newer that are on the singular Fortean, but look at that. Oh my God, that small font. There's a lot of words here, Don.
Gosh, how do you read these words?
I don't know.
Oh, we're
That's-
buffering again.
Are we really?
Yeah.
What in the flaky hell is going on? I don't know, ladies and gentlemen.
What is that? I don't know.
They
Huh.
lost us. Kathy's saying they lost us.
Let's see here.
Oh, we might be done with our stream earlier than projected. Is TFR still catching us? Are you guys still hearing us over in TFR? Please let me know. I don't know what the hell's going on. Ruthie's over there. Ruthie, are we still live?
Yeah, they're
Yeah, okay, they are. Okay, good. I guess we're at least doing our network stuff.
Well, Duke says we're on, and
Okay.
I see a live picture.
Cross your fingers. We're on for as long as we can be. Tonight, the internets might have a different plan for us. We might get to our week off break a little early. So I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. This is not within our means to correct. It's something else is going on
Oh, goodness.
in the World Wide Webs and all that. But let me close any extraneous things I might have
You
open
mean
here.
your 5 windows and your 20,000 tabs?
Quit hating, dude.
Hey.
Quit hating.
No.
All right, let me close. a
I'm
couple of
the
these.
guy that's got one window open and maybe 4 tabs, but doing like 20,000 apps on the other one.
Yeah, I know.
I got the other screen's like busy.
Okay, I closed some stuff. Hopefully that'll help. I don't know. I mean, I got a ton of RAM in this thing, so it shouldn't matter that much, but we'll see. But let's go to this report. I don't know how much of this I'm going to read because it's plenty long, and it's from 2006. But it's from Lon Strickler, who apparently sent this over to the Singular Fortean, and he says, I recently received a telephone call from an eyewitness who stated that he and his son observed a Cape Wing humanoid in Bensonville, Illinois. Says Strickler. The eyewitness, Brian, told Strickler that the creature, or that he and his adult son were sitting in the back porch of his home one evening in August of 2006 when they saw the creature. The eyewitness's neighbor has a large pine tree in the adjacent yard. Both Brian and his son were looking in that direction when a large dark being quickly dropped to the ground from the tree and grabbed a squirrel in its talons. Whoa. The squirrel was literally screaming during the attack. I can't blame him too much. The dark being then quickly jettisoned up into the tree, and both witnesses could hear the being moving up the tree, but neither caught sight of it again, said Strickler. Brian described the humanoid as having strong and long grasshopper-like legs and muscular thighs. He continued, it seemed to have a cape-like wings that were wrapped around the body, and these wings were never unfurled. He estimated the height of the humanoid at 6 feet or so. There was no distinct head or eyes, but the overall size and form was too large to be any bird that the longtime Bensonville resident has ever seen or heard described in his area. Both witnesses were shocked at what they saw.
No way.
Strickler exclaimed, I asked about not getting a photo, but I was told that the event happened so quickly that they never had a chance to do so. Yeah, I imagine. I mean, if it just jumped out of a tree, landed on a squirrel, and shot back up, there's not a lot of time for a selfie.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Like many witnesses, Brian shared his story after finding out that others had reported something similar. The witness decided to come forward after his elderly mother in Wisconsin read about the Chicago sightings and urged him to contact me, said Strickler. This account has special significance, according to Strickler, who said, I believe that this is the first report to definitively state that one of these winged humanoids actually attacked an animal. This is also one of the better descriptions of the legs and talons on these beings. Bensonville, Illinois is a village bordering the southwest edge of O'Hare International Airport. It is less than 20 miles west of the location near the north branch of the Chicago River, where witness David Ramos said he saw a similarly caped winged creature in 1971. That's strange. A lot of strange stuff out of there. Now, again, these reports are really, there's quite a space in between them, but still. Yeah. This is the most recently reported sighting in a series of unusual sighting reports that have taken place in the vicinity of O'Hare International Airport. I thought some of them we read were newer than that, but that must not be the case. They must also have been old. Although chronologically it takes place over a decade before the current sightings. Oh, well, there you go. The sighting reports in this area so far include a January 23rd report from a man who said he saw an egg-shaped object fly over O'Hare International Airport and shine a brilliant blue light to the ground, through which a person appeared to be taken aboard the craft.
Oh.
The December 6th sighting of a red-eyed winged humanoid near O'Hare, of a red-eyed flying man from a security person at O'Hare, and of a 7-foot-tall person with wings outside of O'Hare. A September 29th sighting of a toddler-sized bat creature running like a gorilla near Barrington, and an October 30th sighting of a large winged humanoid in Park Ridge. On October 29th report of a winged humanoid accompanied by several other beings who disappeared in a flash of blue light. In a late October sighting of an unknown flying human owl. And October 5th sighting of a tall creature with bright red eyes and large wings near O'Hare, and a recent report from July of a large 6-foot-tall creature flying over the Des Plaines River near Rosemont. And we've covered all of those. I don't know. I don't remember the orb one, but
I'm looking for it now.
there's a link here if we wanted to get into it. But
okay.
it sounds like that's pretty much all there is to it. Somebody saw an orb, a blue light came down, and somebody looked like they were taking a board
That's
in the
pretty
blue
freaky.
light. But I'll bet you it was one of those creatures, though, right? So I think it was just sucking up one of their people, is what I'm thinking.
We're coming for you. Just stay there.
Yeah, don't go anywhere. We're coming to pick you up.
It's your exfil spot.
Yeah. So very wild. I'm not going to read any more of it, but that was pretty crazy. I don't know what to think of that. Again, I don't know what this stuff means. I guess they eat squirrels, though. We know that now.
That's why it's paranormal. We don't know what it means.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know. But I mean, it's like with ghosts, we kind of know a little bit about what is going on with this situation. It's some kind of spiritual being, oftentimes people that have passed on and stuff, or some other spiritual presence. With Bigfoot, we know that they're this large cryptid out there, and either they're really super intelligent and have powers, or they're just incredibly intelligent and good at avoiding us, or whatever. I mean, there's a few forks in the road, but generally, it's things like this though are just so different, and the struggle to put your head around it. Is it a humanoid? Is it just some kind of creature? Is it intelligent? Is it not intelligent? All of the same, questions. But a few more, because are they related to the UFOs then? So much more. I guess it's not that big a difference from Bigfoot, because, of course, there's lots of people that claim that they're from UFOs as well. And who knows? I mean, I don't know. Again, when I started doing the show, I thought I had a pretty good handle on this stuff. And after doing the show, I realized I don't know what the hell's going on. I really have no idea. This stuff is bizarre and crazy and fun and interesting, and absolutely anything seems possible, which I wouldn't have guessed.
Wow. Yeah.
I would never have guessed that before. So, wow. A Haunted Atlas of Western New York provides comprehensive survey of paranormal sites. Okay, well, that sounds interesting as far as a roadmap of haunted places, but I don't think we're going to cover that. Newly leaked documents show Pentagon program was interested in UFOs after all.
Well, no doubt.
Well, there was that controversy, that person saying, no, that's not what it was about at all. And then, several people were like, no, that's exactly what it was designed for. So let's hear what this newly leaked documents are. In a recent article about popular mechanics, Tim McMillan traced a path through the Byzantine maze of government documents and insider testimony that show the Pentagon's Advanced Aviation Threat Identification Program, or AATIP, was interested in studying UFOs despite the recent denials by Pentagon spokesperson Susan Gao. According to McMillan's research, the Pentagon's denial is part of a campaign of confusion involving a dizzying shell game that's entirely consistent with how black budget intelligence programs are run. What you're dealing with is the very core of government secrecy, and how things they absolutely don't ever want to discuss are kept hidden away, said one former AATIP contractor. Documents retrieved from Bigelow Aerospace Advanced Space Studies, LLC, and there's an acronym for that, which is BASS. BASS. Along with the testimony of former AATIP contractors, now show that the company was contracted by the Defense Intelligence Agency to produce technical reports on exotic and potential game-changing aerospace technologies and the manner of determining what areas these radical airborne breakthroughs might emerge was through the research of UFOs. The Pentagon sidestepped the Freedom of Information Act by outsourcing the research to a private company because of the information contained in the reports generated by BAASS is proprietary and cannot be disseminated or used without prior written consent from the operating manager of BAASS. Government officials were afforded the ability to deny any and all connection between themselves and the research performed by the company. Plausible deniability, Don.
Yep.
According to Macmillan, the DIA may have had extensive access to the UFO materials, but because all of the data technically belonged to BAASS under the Economic Espionage Act of 1996,
Really?
disclosing or releasing the proprietary materials provided to the government in confidence is a federal crime. As a result, the Pentagon is able to maintain that the AATIP did not investigate UFOs because that duty was largely outsourced to BAASS. This makes the government denial a technicality rather than an explanation offered in good faith.
Right.
The Pentagon's narrative has long been strongly contradicted by Luis Elizondo, a former DoD intelligence officer who claims to have been program head for the AATIP and who currently serves as director of that Star Search. Star Search.
The TTBSB.
Yeah, special program for To the Stars Academy of Arts and Science. It sounds like a talent scout.
It's so benevolent.
It's so banal. Banal or banal.
Take the B off that, and that's more what it is.
Along with former Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid, both of whom maintain that the AATIP's primary focus was to investigate the UFOs. Elizondo insisted that the AATIP itself spent its entire time on UFOs, while former Secretary Majority Leader Harry Reid said in a statement that AATIP was my program, and one can say whatever, but the truth is it was for only one purpose, to study UFOs. This news follows the chain of information slowly released through To the Stars Academy of Arts and Science and government sources since 2017, when news broke of the Pentagon's secretive UFO project. Ooh. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to read any more of this fluff. It's just another bureaucratic maze of misdirection and mayhem, which is what the show's about tonight.
I don't know about mayhem. But
It's definitely governmental mayhem.
Oh, well, that's not.
That's just sneaky crap.
Yep.
When did lawyers take over the world? Because that day should be erased from history.
Well, let's see. Most politicians nowadays are
Our attorneys.
lawyers.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's crazy. They make laws and they twist everything up in these weird knots, and you got to be literally like a Sherlock Holmes to follow the trails, because they've got so many intersecting and cross here and reference here and over there, and
Right.
it's just maddening. It sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just truth.
We can't release that information because it doesn't belong to us, and we can't release it because it doesn't fall under the Freedom of Information Act anymore, because it's owned by a private corporation.
Yeah, that's sneaky stuff there. That's really sneaky stuff. It really is. I mean, that's like diabolical.
Yeah, it is.
Oh man, that's just how the extent that people will go to hold on to power, right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
It's sad, it's tragic, because I think the thing is I think that we could learn so much as a society by just this open exchange of information and how to apply it to make all of our lives better. All of us could benefit from this, and maybe remove the need for so much of the garbage that we deal with today. And maybe people could, have energy and
Right.
live with, comfort and resources that are only available in some segments of the world. of which I'm very blessed to have been born in one of them, right
True.
here in the U.S.
True, but
But there's a lot of countries out there that people are just tragically,
like Canada.
like Canada. These poor Canadians.
They got good bacon though.
Yeah, that's right. They got good bacon. And and some good beers, I understand. So
Well, yeah, they have a few good beers.
that's true. So, well, there you have it. That's another rabbit hole in that whole mess of rabbit holes that comes out of this quest for disclosure. It's just never going to happen. It's just never going to happen. Is it, Don?
I have a bad feeling. I have to agree with that statement. It's never really truly going to happen.
No.
Unless, of course, Paul Hellyer comes up with something else.
Well, yeah, he
Canadian.
he's Canadian. He's Canadian.
That's not to slight to our Canadian audience.
Our
We love
Canadian
you
audience
all.
is brilliant, but
Because you're here with us. You must agree at some point.
well, I think that they're,
How's our time?
I don't know how our time is, Don.
We
That's a
got
great
like
question.
4 minutes. Yep.
We got like 4 minutes, Don.
Gosh.
Trying to push us into another break already?
Cannot
Jeez.
stand.
Hey,
No, I
dude.
just want to make sure that we.
That what?
I just want to make sure that we don't do a TFR host not paying attention cutoff. Sorry.
Yeah, we don't want to run into the bumpers. Yeah.
Get cut off. Hey, where'd we go?
We actually listen for our bumpers, though. That helps.
Well, it helps that we can hear them too. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's crazy stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Crazy, crazy stuff.
Hi, Ruthie C.
Ruthie C. How you doing? Good to see you. Where the hell was I going though now? Now I got to figure out. I was going to talk about some Ouija stuff tonight.
Oh.
What do you think of that, Don?
Ooh. Yeah, sure. Why not? It's
Why
good.
not? I got a
stuff.
couple of Ouija things pulled up. Because, I love me some Ouija boards, and I know how much they mean to you, Don.
Gosh, yeah. I just love listening to. Well, we never thought anything would happen, but then we became, possessed of a demon spirit named Zuzu.
It's those Zozo.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure it's
Pretty sure they
based
spelled
on
it Z-U-Z-U.
Pazuzu. No, it's Z-O-Z-O. But
Joking, I'm being.
it's based on Pazuzu, so you're not all wrong. You're not.
Gracious.
All right, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to stick to the facts.
And I'm being ironic and sardonic and. Sorry.
You're using big words again, Don.
You threw 50 cents at me.
Yeah, I don't know most of those words. I'm not sure what sardonic means, but I think they're good on pizza. That's what I understand anyway, ladies and gentlemen. So,
Man.
yeah, it's good to see Ruthie. Good to see you. I'm glad that everything seems to be working still, ladies and gentlemen, here on the portal.
Yeah, we look good.
But we're going to get into some Ouija stuff, but I think I want to leave it till the other side of the break.
Well, of course, yeah.
Because I don't want to start my roll and then have to interrupt my flow.
Oh, my God.
So
He's a Longfellow, don't you know?
I don't know about that, but well, I'm average fella, Don. Sorry.
Oh, it's 10,000. Oh, God.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's true. That's what I'm hearing.
Oh, boy.
I gotta get my laugh somewhere. It's how we roll here on this portal, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. I'm feeling a little punchy because it is our last show for a week, and I got to tell you, it's kind of a challenge both ways. It's like it's tough not to do the show. It's tough to envision not doing the show.
Right.
After doing it for as long and for every day for as long as we have, with only the exception of a couple days, right, Don?
The planchette's not on the Ouija board.
Dope Gilligan. Look at. Let's see. It wasn't at this whenever this screen froze either. So, there you go. The planchette's off the board. So it's kind of funny. I was just going to get into Ouija stories.
And I noticed it.
Did you notice it?
I just noticed it, so.
Well, this might get interesting, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just saying. All right, but it's going to be hard not to do the show for a week, but I really hope we can use the time to do a lot of good things for the show and to prepare for all the things that are coming up. One of which is on March 7th
Yes.
in Medellin Falls.
Did you look at that page? It says that there's 179 going or interested.
Excellent.
170. Can you? Oh my God.
I don't know how big the venue is, ladies and gentlemen. It's not like a huge show, but it's really cool. Could you post that page?
Which one?
For the Meddling Falls event.
The Facebook one.
Sure.
Okay,
that sounds great. Is there another one? I'm only aware of the Facebook one, I guess.
Well, I was looking. Okay, I'll see what I can do.
Okay, yeah, because we're going to be in Meddling Falls on the 7th, and we'll be doing some live streams from there right to our YouTube channel here.
Hopefully.
Well, not hopefully.
I sent that email to them, and they sent back some like basic information. We're going to break.
Oh, we are going to break. So we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Don't miss it. There's another full hour of Portal fun to come. So we'll be right back.
Play their games. Everybody loves to place their bets. They don't understand the price I paid. They don't care to comprehend. Trace their lines upon my body, dripping scars across my heart. Raging anger pours inside me as their lies keep falling apart.
A nightmare from which they cannot wake. I can't see you, Mommy. Where are you? I've never sensed anything like it. Caroline is not like those she's with. they're attracted to the one thing about her that is different from themselves. Her life force. It is very strong. It gives off its own illumination. It is a light that implies life and memory of love and home and earthly pleasures. Something they desperately desire, but can't have anymore. Right now, she's the closest thing to that.
Poltergeist are usually associated with an individual. Hauntings seem to be connected with an area. A house, usually.
Poltergeist disturbances are of fairly short duration, perhaps a couple of months. Hauntings can go on for years.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're into hour number 2 here on the Paranormal Portal.
Hey, people are applauding. Yay, we've only got an hour to go again.
Yeah, oh no, the crowd's going wild, Don.
Yeah.
I wish they had a roaring crowd sound
Wow.
on here. Thank
we
you.
gotta figure that out.
All right. That's the Paranormal Portal special effect budget right there.
Sheetbox.
Hello, Shelly. How are you? Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. And thank you to all of you that are here. It's wonderful to see you all. Y'all.
And Nessie says, Sister, they finally gave you your big blue tool again.
Yeah, we always have a way of dragging this to the gutter quick, don't we?
Kind of like a Mothman and a squirrel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to talk about some Ouija board fun. As you know,
That damn thing's gone again. Where'd it go?
what
The planchette.
didn't
Oh,
you
there
put it
is
back
right
up?
there. No,
Oh.
I was like, nope.
Oh,
I'm like, oh.
you sure you want to hold that?
Oh, you're not supposed to look through a planchette, are you?
I don't know.
I heard a story once that you're not supposed to look through a planchette.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't think you
Uh-huh.
actually looked, did you?
No.
We'll just go with that. You didn't actually do it. Hold on, I got a cough.
Wow.
Yes, here we are. So we're the Ouija board is it's just a tool. People are freaked out about it. A lot of times they're like, "No, those are evil." Well, no, they're not. They're no more evil than a hammer or any other tool you might use. No, I mean, they don't have an inherent intelligence or a diabolical intelligence. But again, what makes them dangerous is they're a blind channel, and if you don't know what you're doing, you could channel into something negative.
So I was going through my Facebook the other day, and one of the groups I was in, somebody asked, has anybody ever had an issue with their demon board? I'm like, well, hold on a second. Now, demon board, angel board, Ouija board, they're all the same thing, aren't they? They're a blind channel to a portal that anything can come through. And nobody touched that. Nobody said anything to me.
Well, I think that's the funny part is that some people think that I'm going to decorate it with fairies and then it'll be a fairy board. It's like, no, it doesn't really.
And I said, what did I say? I said, before you tell me, gosh, I want to find it again. But nobody answered that question. Wow.
Nobody wanted anything to do with it.
Nope.
They're like, no, don't destroy our illusions, Don. Well, I don't know why you'd want a demon board anyway. What the hell?
Well, I mean, I've heard of demon boards, angel boards, and Ouija boards, and they're
And the
all the same thing.
witch
and you
board,
can't control, witch board. You can't control what comes through.
Well,
It's a blind channel. Now, your intention may, and this is me speculating, your intention for the board may affect things, hopefully, but I really don't think you can control what comes through. There's just no way.
well, you can set your environment,
Well, yeah.
and that's the key, and that's what most people don't do. They just pull it up and put it on a coffee table and roll.
Let's play.
Right, and so you can set the stage for anything. I mean, it's like any
Yeah, but
ritual starts with preparing.
Yeah, but I mean, a demon can come through and say, "Yes, my name's the Archangel Michael."
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't trust what you're seeing on the
that's my
board.
point, yeah.
But I mean, you can take steps to cleanse and repel darkness before it gets to the board. I mean,
What the hell is a yada yada board, Duke?
I don't know. I don't know, but I'm all verklempt.
Again, talk amongst yourselves. You guys do that pretty well.
Oy vey. Oy vey. All right, so, but we're going to get into some of the stories of people that have had bad experiences, or at least weird experiences with their Ouija boards. So
Veronica.
let's get into this. Now these stories are coming from liveabout.com. There's the name of the site, liveabout.com. And the first one is called 4 Extreme Tales of Ouija Experiences. So let's go to the first one. This segment is titled Ithan of Venus. This story is about my experiences regarding the Ouija board, but it also has something to do with extraterrestrials. It was July 1964, and we were living in the historic town of St. Thomas Mount in India, in the state of Madras, now Chennai, or Chennai, Chanai.
Go for it.
It was about 8:30 p.m., and I had just come home from work. As I entered the dining room to get a drink of water, my Uncle George and Auntie Theo spoke to me excitedly. "Peter," they exclaimed together, "you won't believe who we have on the board right now." The board they were referring to was a Ouija board. Auntie Theo was visiting from Calcutta, and Uncle George was visiting from a few streets away. The Ouija board was their hobby. Uncle's wife did not approve of this messing around with the occult, so our place was the only venue of choice. My mom, their sister, was more tolerant, and this spirit of the board was calling himself Ithan, I-T-H-A-N. Remembered this name distinctly, and claimed to be from Venus. I was crazy about astronomy and all things extraterrestrial, hence their reaction when I walked in. However, I was not overly excited. After all, any entity can say it's from Venus or any other planet. Then Ithan broke into our short conversation to inform us that the singer Jim Reeves had just died in a plane crash. He went on to spell out in the news that they hadn't found the wreckage yet, but it would be a couple of days before the news was made public. Jim Reeves' songs were very popular in India in the 60s. About 5 months later, in December 1964, Theo's brother-in-law Oscar paid us a visit from Calcutta, where while we were chatting about the family matters, he noticed a picture of a sailing ship on the calendar and picked it up for closer look, and we held our breaths because on the back of the calendar, Uncle George had painted the letters of the Ouija board, and Oscar found it. Oh. After an embarrassing silence, he turned to me and said, "Peter, Ella, my cousin in Calcutta, and Kathleen, a relative of Oscar, were also fooling with this thing back home and claimed that they had heard from a guy from Venus.
Oh.
While he was still communicating with them, Jim Reeves died, and we were probably one of the very first to know of his death." As you might imagine, there was a stunned silence. Then it was Oscar's turn to be surprised. "Was his name Ithan?" I asked. It was. More than 800 miles away, the same person with the unusual name from Venus. About 3 months later, in the early 1965, Oscar paid us another visit. This trip was to warn Auntie Theo about the board. He told us that one day, Kathleen's husband got home earlier than expected and found her naked with the letters of the Ouija board inked on her bare body.
Wow.
She was operating the board on her own. She did not recognize her husband and had completely lost her sanity.
Wow.
Kathleen was admitted into a psychiatric hospital. As far as I know, that's where she is still today. The Ouija board had claimed another victim. Did Ithan have anything to do with this? If he didn't, he could have warned them about the danger. Sorry about that. Not quite better.
He'll survive.
All right, I got better.
I'll go better.
Sometime around the end of 1973, 9 years later, we had moved to Melbourne, Australia, as we were watching the TV program A Current Affair. The presenter interviewed a Sydney clairvoyant who claimed to be in regular psychic contact with a being from Venus, whose name was Ithanus.
Oh.
There was an us at the end. Excuse me. Hold on, Don, you got to talk for a second.
Talking for a second so he can clear his throat. I'm surprised he's not using that little, canned ham thing. A little yay. So anyhow, but yeah, laying naked with the letters of the Ouija.
Well, yes. Some people have their own kink, but I'd never heard of that one before. So, let's see. His name was Ethanus. According to another story on the September night of 1961, in Prescott, Arizona, a 4-year-old named David was seen by his neighbor in the company of strangers walking in the woods behind their home. It was around 2 a.m. when questioned later, this little boy explained to his startled father and neighbor that he had gone for a ride in his new friend's big sky car, from which our world looked like a pea. The name of his friend? Etan, I-T-A-N. A 4-year-old's pronunciation of Ethan. To give us an idea of the morals of this Etan, little David went on to describe how they stole, and he used the word milked, all the engine oil out of the neighbor's car, which was locked in the garage. David's story can be read in Ruth Montgomery's fascinating book, Strangers Among Us. I'd really love to know if anyone else has heard of this or has any information about Ethan or Ethan or whatever, however the hell you say that. Sorry. But it's interesting. So let's go to the next one. It says Ouija warns of a predator. What I'm going to share with you is very strange. On May 27th, I was playing with the Ouija board, asking questions about the future. The response I got from it was, beware, insane man. I didn't know what it meant, so I dismissed it. 2 days later, I was getting ready to go to my friend's house when I heard a very deep male voice.
Wow. You all right over there?
Yeah, I'm just really froggy. Sorry. It's the spring air. It's kind of melting, and I'm getting my allergies. So it says a male voice from somewhere say, I can see you. I freaked out and realized that I left my window open, so I looked outside, but saw no one there, and I dismissed it. That's my mind playing tricks on me. At 8 p.m., it was already dark, so I called my friend to let her know that I was on my way, and my mom and I got in the car and drove off. And as we were driving, my mom and I saw a man standing on the sidewalk. He was about 5'8", wearing black clothes, had brown hair and brown eyes. He was staring at us and smiling. That itself scared the heck out of me. As we drove by him, I looked behind me and saw this man start to walk slowly towards us. And I said to my mom, can you drive a little faster? And she quickly agreed. I looked back again and he was nowhere to be seen. We get to my friend's house at 9:30 and I kissed my mom goodbye and she drove off, and I told my friend about the weird guy standing on the sidewalk, and she said, he must have been a psycho or a drunk. My friend's parents were not home, and since they thought that we could take care of ourselves since we were both 16, we sat down and started to talk about guys in high school, and in the corner of my eye, I saw a shadow pass by the window and told my friend, and she checked outside, but saw no one out there. And it began to rain, so my friend said, hey, do you want me to show you my basement? It's really cool. As we started to go down the stairs, we heard a loud knock coming from the front door. My friend and I went to check it out, and no one was there. We started to get spooked and sat down in the living room, and as I was talking to my friend, we both saw a man standing there outside the window. I told my friend that it was the same weird man that I saw earlier, and we both ran down to the basement, and we both heard the front door open, and we could hear footsteps. My friend said, I locked all the doors and the windows. How the heck did he get in? We heard insane laughter and then footsteps coming down towards the basement steps, and we quickly locked the door leading to my friend's basement, and we heard breathing outside the door, and it said, I'm going to call my mom. And I said, no, that's not the creepy voice. I'm going to call my mom. Sorry. As I was talking with my mom, the breathing stopped and we heard footsteps move away. We quickly went upstairs and everything was a mess. My mom arrived and saw the front door open. She took my friend and me to her car and told us to remain in the car, and she took out her cell phone and dialed 911. 10 minutes later, the police arrived and I told them what I saw and what he looked like. It was midnight and my friend's parents returned home. While my mom was driving me home, she told me that before she got to my friend's house, she saw the same man walking the away from the house. She told me that he was laughing at her as he walked by. All I know is that the Ouija board did predict the future. That's creepy as hell, but that's a good warning. I mean, Maybe it helped them to raise their, defense a little bit. It's nice to hear something good come out of the Ouija board. Here's another one. It says the Mirror Demon. This one sounds lovely. I live in London, UK. Let me look at the time. Did you see how much we got here?
10 minutes.
We got 10 minutes. Plenty of time. I live in London, UK, and I have a friend who's a medium with 3 spirit guides. A few years back, late 1990s, I went to visit him on a hot summer afternoon. I knew he'd used the Ouija board and was quite curious. I wouldn't usually mess with one myself, but I felt safe to ask him if he could show me something. His board was homemade and drawn in permanent black ink on the wooden back of an antique dressing table mirror. And he sat on the sofa, and I sat opposite on the floor with my back against the wall about 6 feet away. He rested the mirror/Ouija board on his lap and placed a small upturned glass on the board, but he didn't touch the glass. I asked him if he was going to touch it, and he said it would move by itself. What?
What?
Huh?
No thanks.
We sat for a good 5 to 10 minutes as he tried to meditate or go into a trance, but the neighbors were mowing the lawn, and the guy downstairs' wife was shouting, "Do you want something to drink?" And my friend said he couldn't concentrate, but would try again later. He leaned the mirror against the wall to his left, and he sat down, and he said, "Come on, Robert, where are you?" Robert is his dead cousin. And suddenly the hairs stood up along my arms, up the back of my neck and over my head, and I felt like time had slowed down, almost standing still. The whole room went different. The angles of the room were all out, and it wasn't a square anymore. It was weird. Then the mirror started shaking violently, and I could hear the glass bending and thought the mirror was going to shatter. The sunlight was bouncing off the mirror and all around the room, and it was also turning towards me. I lifted my arms to shield my face in case it exploded, and it stopped shaking. The surface of the mirror became like a liquid, and 2 hands came out of this mercury, gripped either side of the mirror frame, and it began to pull itself out into the room. Sounds kind of Hollywood to me, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was going to climb right out, but it didn't. It just had its upper torso out of the mirror into the room, the shining, liquid mercury shape of a powerful man. I felt like it was looking right into me, at my soul, and then I saw its eyes, 2 flashes of golden light. It spoke to my mind. It said, "We are real." And then it sort of folded back into the mirror in a split second, and the room went normal again, like time had suddenly been unbent and restarted the same as before, with the neighbors busy doing their gardening on a hot summer afternoon. During this experience, my friend couldn't turn around as he was unable to move, but he heard the glass bending and saw the sun's reflection bouncing all over the room as the mirror flexed and shook. He said he could see it was all in his mind's eye, but he was just looking at my face, which I'm sure must have been a picture. I only went back there once and felt creepy near the mirror, and I forced myself to pick it up and try to bend it, but the wood must have been over an inch thick and very hard old oak. I put it down in case something grabbed me and pulled me into another dimension.
Yeah. You know, yeah, it is very Hollywoodish.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's hard to know. I mean, because, of course, the paranormal can be absolutely over the top, but usually when you hear just that much visualization, it just seems like a little much.
Some embellishments.
Yeah, it might be. Might be absolutely a fabrication, every part of it, but it's, I don't know. I've never heard of that before. I've never heard of anybody just letting it move itself either, though. So that whole story was kind of, I don't really buy it, probably. I don't think that's how it works.
Well, we've heard stories of planchettes moving by themselves.
Right, but after a session was started, they don't
Right.
just suddenly.
Yeah, they just don't do it.
They don't just suddenly start. I mean, it sounded like that was his normal practice. I'm going to meditate, and it's going to start moving by itself. Well,
meditation is a type of what's it called?
I don't know. Self-hypnosis?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So,
it's possible. It could be. Okay. All right. So the next one is called Abandon with 2 D's. Abandon. A band and then don all together. Growing up in a... Oh, let me check the time. How much are we doing here? 5 minutes. Yeah, I think we can make it. I think we can. Okay.
I think we can.
Growing up in a pagan home, ghosts and such were never new to me. I've seen them in my entire life, and it started when I was 6. My mother had an image of God and Jesus. Where she got it, who gave it to her, I don't know. But I saw demonic faces in the picture all the time. Finally, I told my mom, and she removed it, and that was that. When I was 7, we moved 2 houses down, and things were great for a while. Then weird things started to happen. When I was 14, my friend swore up and down that she saw a dark figure behind me in the hallway with a knife raised to my back. It spooked me so much that I would walk with my back to the wall. Anyone who came over would see red, glowing eyes peeking out of my bedroom.
Wow.
And then my door would slam shut. And after a while, most of my friends refused to just come over at all. I stopped sleeping in my bedroom because whenever I was in there, I could never sleep. Weird things always happen, so I slept on the family room couch. Let's fast forward a few years. I was 18, living in Tennessee with my then fiance Sam and his mother Gail. This was in 1997, and one night she pulled out her spirit board, not a Ouija board, but some other kind of spirit board. Well, they're all spirit boards. Ouija is just a trademark named. Right away, things started happening. I went into a trance and started talking about Gail's dead sister, whom I've never met or even seen a picture of, and I described her to a T. Gail asked Sam if I ever saw a picture of her, and he said no. So I spoke to her dead sister, Linda, and Gail became so upset there was a gate and a spirit guardian blocking the way and would not let me communicate with her in depth. Gail headed off to bed, and Sam asked me if I wanted to continue. I agreed, and we tried for about another 20 minutes, and no other spirits would come through, so Sam said, I have an idea. He left the room, returning with a genuine Ouija board. This'll work, he said. Before starting, he did a protection ritual, but screwed it up. So he had to enter me into the ritual. Right away, 2 girls came through. One was 15, the other 19. And they said that they were slave girls who were murdered. I wanted proof, so I asked questions only the dead would know and got the right responses, so I was satisfied. Then out of nowhere, they just stopped talking, and we tried getting them back, but nothing. Then another presence came through saying his name was David. We spoke with David for quite some time, and I started noticing lies. When Sam left the room for a minute to use the bathroom, I confronted David. I said, your name is not David, and you're lying. He replied, you caught me. I asked, who are you really? And he responded, Abaddon Apollyon. I have no clue who that was, but continued to talk to him. Sam returned, and I told him what he said, and that's not funny, Jen. Knock it off, Sam said. And I told him I was dead serious, and through the board, Abaddon said, she's right. She's not lying. Sam's eyes got so wide, and he looked terrified. We ended this now. Sam said, and Abaddon pointed to no. Before Abaddon could do anything else, Sam ended it, shoving the pointer to goodbye, and I asked him what was wrong, but he wouldn't tell me. Later that night, we were in bed. Sam was reading, and I was asleep. I woke up to the sound of growling and talking, and I looked over to the corner, and there by the closed door was a black-robed figure. I tried to scream, move anything, and I couldn't. For some reason, it chose the Grim Reaper look, scythe and all. He slowly moved towards me until he was sitting on my stomach and pinning me down. I couldn't move, talk, or anything. I was completely terrified. He was sitting there breathing on me, and my first thought was, the dead don't breathe. The Abaddon story continues. Oh, it's even longer. We might have to hold off until the break, but let me see how long that is.
Abaddon is the Hebrew name of the angel of death.
Yeah.
Just FYI.
That's creepy. That would be really creepy. That would be quite a thing to just manage to get Abaddon, the angel of death, to stop over for a little Ouija board session.
Come on over. We'll serve something that the dead eat.
We'll have gefilte fish. It'll be lovely. Bring the kids.
Bring the kids and some coffee.
Oh my God, come on over. I don't know. Anyway, we are about to take our last break of the night, ladies and gentlemen. Just think about it. This is the last break, Don, for a week.
The last break of the last show.
Of the last show. The last break of the last show, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
For 1 week. And You know, it's just hard.
Freaked
Parting
a lot
is
of people out.
I'm freaking a lot of people out. Sorry, I don't mean to bring it up, but you know, just know that when we come back, it's going to be so much greater. What we're doing, what we're able to do, what we can do, what we're going to try to do. Well, hopefully, we'll have a lot better idea after this week.
Yeah, no doubt.
We don't necessarily know what all those are yet, but
So I've posted the Medaline Falls Facebook event page
oh, perfect.
in the chat a few
Excellent.
times, so you know where we're going to be.
That
And
will be
it's-
on the 7th.
Yeah, that's like 3 hours kind of northwest of us, just below the Canadian border.
And way above the Mason-Dixon line.
Oh my God.
All right, there's the growl and the howl. So we're going to go to our break, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go away. One more half hour of the show remains.
The last quarter.
We'll see you there. Be right back.
And welcome back to the last half hour of the last show of Paranormal Portal live streaming on YouTube. Well, at least for a week. We'll be back on the 1st. Sunday the 1st. He says he'll be back on Sunday the 1st, so we'll see what happens. But we don't plan to be any longer than that. So anyhow, hi everybody in TFR and everybody over there in the YouTube land. Just one more quick thing. Don't forget the Teespring store. That's teespring.com/stores/paranormal-portal. And you can get your fresh gear for the new year. Also, the Medellin Falls event is the 7th of March up in Medellin Falls, Washington. I did put the link in the YouTube chat. I suppose I could probably pop over and put it in TFR for them as well. Let me do that. And there it is. And then, don't forget about the podcast. Wherever you get your podcasts from, you'll find us there. Paranormal Portal. There you go. So I think Brett was talking about Ouija board stories, and the planchette fell off the wall. I don't think I was here when it did it. It must have did it before I came in, so I didn't have to poop myself.
Well, thanks, Don. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, whatever.
I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much.
He's taking the mic back. Screw this stuff. Shut him up.
I've got some more of that story. So just before break, we were talking about the Abaddon story, which is creepy to be potentially summoning the angel of death or whatever. Which is creepy. But anyway, this is the continuation of the story. We covered the first half before the break, but let's get back to the last half. So this person is seeing this Abaddon in the corner, and she's paralyzed. And so let's see what's going on now. It says, the entity became distorted and turned into the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. Oh, God. He looked completely human except for those red goat-like slitted eyes. He smiled at me, bent towards me, and said, "You are mine." By this time, I was so scared I was crying and fighting to move, to say anything to get Sam's attention, but that's when the entity told me its name. Now, this name I cannot reveal. It's an intimate name, and I had to promise to never tell it to get him to go away. Finally, I was able to move, and I lunged for Sam and told him what had happened. He comforted me and told me it would be okay. For a while, it was. Then one night, Sam's mom sent him to their other home to get things turned on because we were moving. She hates the mobile home. With Sam gone, I refused to sleep in the bedroom, so I set myself up on the living room couch at around 2 to 3:30 a.m. at about 6 hours left after Sam left. I had the urge to look at the door, and that was a mistake. There he was again, staring at me, and I said loudly to him, "You are not welcome. Leave now." And he laughed and turned from that skeleton face to the beautiful face with the red goat-slitted eyes and said to me again, "You are mine. I will have you no matter the cost." "No," I yelled, and he laughed and vanished. We moved a short time later, and I didn't see him for a while. Then one night, out of nowhere, there he was. He was very angry, like a jealous lover, and he said to me, "You left." I replied, "Yes." And he said, "I've been looking for you." And I told him that was too bad. Nice. Too bad for you. He became angrier and pinned me to the wall and kissed me, telling me that I was his, and I told him no. Sam came into the hall and saw me pinned there. He freaked out, lunging for Abaddon. Sounds kind of Twilight-y to me so far. But the entity merely laughed and disappeared. More time went by, and no Abaddon, and things seemed good. And then one night, Sam was shoved down the stairs, and when I went to help Sam, Abaddon became enraged and jealous, refusing to let me help Sam. And finally, I shouted at Abaddon, telling him that he would never have me. He looked at me, and to this day, I will never forget the look on his face. He looked broken-hearted and said, "That shocked me so much that I was frozen there." He gently touched my face and then disappeared, and I went to help Sam, and he was okay. It's
sounding like a screen ride.
All right, we're almost done with it, I think. Not long after that, Sam's mom pulled her crap about me having to leave for the second time, so I packed my stuff, called my parents, and arranged for them to come get me. A few months after was home, who shows up? Of course, Abby. That's my interpretation.
Now we got.
I'm
pet
not.
names.
Now I'm mocking it, so I better be careful because I don't need more problems with the spirit world. Abaddon, and by that time I'm so used to him, I simply say, "Abaddon, you're not welcome here. Leave my house." And he laughed, bowed to me, saying, "For now, I will leave, my love." And he left. Months went by and nothing. Then one night, he returned while I was sleeping. He marked my ring finger, woke me up, held my hand to show me, and said that now I was officially his. I still have the mark, and to this day, he still follows me. I'll be 32 in a few months, and I'm very happily married. I have to ward my house and myself and anyone around me against him. He's still around, still waiting, wanting me. But this is my true story of why you should never play with a Ouija board. You just might find yourself permanently attached to a demon. I don't know, Don.
So at one point in the story, apparently Abaddon gives him his real name.
Yeah,
And-
apparently.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. That
Maybe he
doesn't
wanted to show her vulnerable side, you know?
Yeah,
he was
sensitive side.
he was showing her his sensitive
You know,
side.
it's such a hard thing being the angel of death. I need someone to love and share things.
Nobody loves me. Hey, Taco, love,
Hey,
love,
yeah,
brother.
I'm stopping at Taco Bell on the way home tonight. Woohoo!
Are you really?
Well, I am now because it sounds good.
You give us a bluebird and $2. Awesome, brother. We appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Your donation goes a long way.
It does.
Every little bit helps, you know. I mean, and ladies and gentlemen, if you're not able to donate, fine. Just spread the word. Let people know about the show. That helps us a ton. So please spread the word about the portal. Let people know, and hopefully more people will come to love the show and
I did
become
notice,
part of the family.
I did notice that earlier we had one thumbs down and it disappeared.
Woo!
Now there's another thumbs down.
We got a roving band of thumbs
Yeah,
downers.
they're like, a traveling band of trolls.
Of two or one or two. Me and my friend are going to come over and thumbs down your
We'll give you a
video.
thumbs down, and then you'll heckle us, and we'll take it back and say we're sorry. Whatever.
Oh, well. Oh,
Oh,
Taco's come-
Taco! Keep it up! Woohoo!
We're keeping it up, brother. I appreciate it, man. That means a lot.
Yeah.
I emailed you today, by the way. I hope, no, a Taco. I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
So hopefully that vector file will work. It's in the format you said it needed to be, so
Oh, yeah. I have part of that, too, yeah.
you got a chunk
Because
of
I
it.
need it. Yeah, I need
You
that
needed
chunk.
the O's.
I need the chunky.
Okay. Don loves himself the chunka.
Chunks.
I don't even know what the hell that means.
I don't know, but chimichangas sound
sounds
good,
like
too.
sounds like a T-shirt to me.
It's an extra order of nachos.
The beard loves the chunka. All right. Why? Now here's another one. This is this one's Tales of the Ouija board, and I don't know how many tales are here. Let's see. Just says true stories of the dark shadows, dread and predictions and hauntings from the Ouija board. Let's see how much fun this one is, ladies and gentlemen, because the Ouija board is some I don't know, sketchy stuff sometimes.
Sketchy stuff.
In the wrong hands, they're quite unstable. So let's see what's going on here. The Ouija brings dread. Okay. All right. Which is not uncommon, I guess. Last year, my friend and I decided to experiment with the Ouija board just to see if it worked. That's like, do you turn on a saw and, cut your arm to see if it works? Hey, let's see if this really cuts.
Zoinks! I don't got a hand.
Yeah, you didn't need it anyway. We made our own out of paper and used regular drinking glass as a pointer. We were pretty skeptical. We were in for a shock. It took a while for the board to warm up. It's in quotes, warm up. You got to pull it hard.
Yeah, exactly.
It helps if you push the primer.
Let the board warm up.
Yeah, but once it did, it became apparent that we were surrounded by relatives who had passed away. Or so you believe.
Right.
The glass moved extremely slowly, and there was nothing scary about being said or done. However, halfway through the session, two of our other friends came bursting into the room laughing and joking. And once they calmed down, we got back to the board, and this time the glass moved extremely fast. We could hardly keep our fingers on it, and it started spelling out names and words without us even asking questions. And the words spelled out included murder and lust.
Oh.
We ended the session immediately as we were pretty freaked out.
Yeah, no doubt.
After that, everything went back to normal for a few days, and then I started waking up at 3 a.m. every night with an unexplainable feeling of dread. This waking up continued for a few weeks, and I started becoming depressed for no reason. Ruh-roh. Sounded like a little oppression. Then one night, about 1 a.m, my friend was walking me home. As we were walking up the road, he claimed he saw a black figure of a man leaning on a fence staring at us. We laughed and joked about the place being haunted. We used to hear bells chiming every night on that road, and that night I woke up again, but this time I was being pinned face down on my bed by what felt like a man. I tried to struggle, but I couldn't move. I tried to scream, but nothing came out. He started speaking in my ear, but I don't know what he said. Then he was gone. I hid under my covers like that would help and soon fell asleep. Apparently it does help, ladies and gentlemen, just for the record. I don't know why it helps, but things seem to end when that happens. When I woke the next morning, I put it down as a nightmare, even though it felt so real. A few days later, we had family visiting. My grandma, who claims to be very perceptive, came in and said she felt there was a presence in the house. My mom said she had thought so too ever since I'd done a Ouija board in my bedroom, but she didn't think it was harmful. My grandma disagreed and said she thought it was evil. The next bit is really hard for me to explain as I really don't know how I felt. As they were arguing, I began to get the same dreadful feeling I had so many other nights, and I began to feel something was wrong. I felt as though I was being pulled into a tunnel further and further away from the room I was in. I tried to tell my mom I didn't feel right, but I couldn't make myself talk or move. It felt as though something was trying to control me. I finally managed to make myself talk, but I screamed it. There's something wrong with me. The next thing I knew, my sister was beside me, hugging me, and I was crying and shaking uncontrollably. Oh, thank you, Nessie. Oh,
Something pretty.
I appreciate that.
I need beads for my beard.
That's beautiful. Thank you, my lady. That's awesome. I felt it was something trying to control me. I finally managed to make myself talk. But I screamed it, so she fell down. Sister was hugging, and she was crying and shaking uncontrollably. My family said I had what looked like some kind of seizure. We got a priest to bless the house, and while he was doing so, all the pipes in the house made a huge screaming noise, and they didn't stop till he finished the prayer. And after that, everything went back to normal. I still can't explain what happened to me, and it scares me to think about it. I can understand that. That'd be a little scary, right?
Yeah?
I think so. All right, this next one happened in Mobile, Alabama in 2008. One afternoon, some friends and I decided to make a homemade Ouija board.
Oh, God.
Homemade. Nothing, just like Mom used to make. We tried it out a couple of times, but nothing seemed to happen. A few weeks passed, and a friend who lived with me at the time and I were looking at some photos of us at a club on my computer, and we started to talk about how some orbs appeared only around us in pictures. And then we got on the subject about ghosts, and she got up from the computer and sat on the couch with my brother. And when I got up and walked toward them, my computer screen suddenly shut off and turned back on. Then the light next to the couch faded and turned a darkish red. Everyone got the chills. We shrugged it off. For a few days later, I lost $100 that I'd sworn I put in my dresser drawer. And my mom and I looked everywhere around the house, including countless times in the drawer. Then out of nowhere, my mom found my money in the same drawer on top of everything in it. I was starting to think that we attracted a ghost to the Ouija board.
No.
My suspicions were correct when one morning my favorite stuffed animal was missing. I thought maybe someone was playing a prank on me because I knew I put it in my mom's room next to the bed. I looked everywhere and still couldn't find it, and I asked my friend who was in the shower if she moved it. And of course she hadn't. I became so frustrated. I knew that it had to be because of something paranormal, because these things did not occur until we made that Ouija board. I decided to take the Ouija board to the dumpster and get rid of it for good. And when I walked back inside, my friend was out of the shower, and I said, I found your stuffed animal. And I asked, where is it? She replied, oh, I saw it when I got out of the shower. It was right next to the door in the empty laundry basket. My heart dropped. Nothing strange has happened since. Craziness. Lots of craziness of the Ouija boards, ladies and gentlemen. This happens around 2002 in Potsdam, Germany. I was 11, and this was my first experience. My sister, who was 12 years old, decided to try a Ouija session with little self-made cards on which the letters were drawn, a table, and a glass, and she and two classmates were in the living room of our little apartment. My mom had a Ouija experience when she was young and was fine with my curious sister's idea, and she took me and my little brother to the kitchen to not disturb my sister. So she's going to do it alone. We waited for some minutes in there, and I stared lazily at the door to the corridor. The door was mostly glass, and I could see everything that was going on behind it, when I saw a person walk past the kitchen, and he could only have come from the living room and seemingly was headed for the exit. Well, I was puzzled. First, the man was pitch black and was as tall as an ordinary grown-up. Second, there was no audible sound of the living room door nor footsteps. He could not have been there. I brushed it off. I believed my mind was playing tricks on me. Then my little brother, who sat across from me, said, "Did you see that shadow too?" I was astonished, and we shared impressions. And shortly after that, my sister and her friends came into the kitchen and stated that their session just ended because the spirit left. Yeah, apparently they saw it leave. This was the start of the paranormal activity around us. Even as we moved on to another house, it went on because of my sister's innocent curiosity in the board. Our home became haunted. It started in most cases when it got dark and our parents went to sleep, so they never witnessed anything and thought we were just kind of nuts. And it was hard. Lights switched on when my sister and I headed for a dark room. That was actually polite of the spirit. And there were many things, from shadows to lights going on and off, to knocks on the doors, to doors that flew open, to footsteps and cold spots. There was also an extremely nasty smell in one of the bathrooms. It came without warning and quickly left, and it was clear that this was no normal smell that you could imagine existing in the bathroom. It was like something foul had lain in the tub for a long time. Once something pushed on my mattress from beneath while I was laying on it, and I was reading a comic. When we were 16 and 15, it all ended because we started to ignore every unnatural occurrence. We had no nerve or power left to stand anymore of this game, so fortunately the spirits cooperated, and I haven't seen or felt any more paranormal activity. That's crazy, huh?
Yes.
I tell you.
But, it blows me away that people don't think that, we'll just play with this Ouija board and nothing will happen. It's just going to be, it'll be nothing, Somebody will be moving it, they'll put their finger on there and they'll just move it around and make us think that it's moving around. And then all of a sudden you're haunted.
Absolutely. Absolutely, I agree.
Explain that, please.
That's how it works. It's just the way spirits worm their way into your life.
Yes.
No, I think most spirits are, like I said many, many times, I think they're just real neutral, just kind of doing their thing and don't want to cause problems or be caused any problems.
But it only takes that one time. Oh,
I agree.
Just one time. That's it.
Yeah, I think so. Well, it just takes once. But what do you do? We're all so damn curious about this stuff. We keep looking.
True. That is true.
We just keep looking. This one's called Ouija Prediction.
Oh, gosh.
My story took place in Cambridge, Minnesota in 2006. I was 12 years old. I just started 7th grade. I had a combination of two types of paranormal things happen. It was a Saturday afternoon and I was bored. My best friend Becca was over. We took out the Ouija board I got last Christmas, and I had asked the board, what was I in a past life? I was joking, thinking that these things didn't really exist. The board started to spell out Rebecca Lynn Peltzer Miller was there.
Wow.
That's all it said. We tried asking another question, will I meet anyone else in my past life here? And it spelled out yes. Who? We both asked. Vincent Daniel Douglas. Douglass. Excuse me, hold on. Sorry. 2 years passed, and I had met no Vincent Douglas, and I just joined the musical Annie, and you guessed it, the guy I acted with was named Danny Douglas. It was very strange. We'd never met before, but I felt like we had known each other all of our lives. That was when I remembered the forgotten Ouija board, so I asked him if Danny was his real name, and he laughed and said his first name was Vincent, a family name that had been passed down through generations. I was definitely shocked. Wow. So it actually was the exact name.
Huh.
That's pretty powerful. I predict you're going to get haunted, MCAT says. Who is he talking to? Who's going to get haunted, MCAT? Tell me.
I don't know. But Mog says that's the first time Brent said Minnesota and didn't say my old stomping grounds.
My old stomping grounds. That's right. I went there in spirit this time, Mog. But, yeah, I'm a former Minnesotan. I'll always be Minnesotan at heart, I think. But, yeah.
I guess I could say I'll always be a Seattleite at heart, but that'll be a lie.
Oh, no?
No, God, no. I don't want any association with that place.
Oh, that's a little harsh.
Because they deserve it.
What do you mean they deserve it? They're
They're
a bunch of great people, I'm sure. I'm sure your experiences weren't all great, but, you know, I mean, you can't say the whole place is screwed.
Well, Washington sucks in general.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Kind of setting the tone for this meddling thing really well, aren't you?
Well, they're
and IBC.
They're almost Canadian, and IBC is almost Oregonian.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go to the
Or is it
winged.
Oregonian?
I don't know. It depends on which part of the country you're from. It's Oregon in Minnesota, but it's Oregon here.
Yep.
So I don't know. I'm getting fluent in this vernaculars
Is it vernacular?
a little bit. So this one's called The Winged Shadow. How much time we got? Sorry. I got to take a peek. Got to watch the clock. We got 4
we only
minutes.
have 4 minutes left.
I don't know. I think that might be the last. I don't know. Let's see how long this story is. The Winged Shadow is pretty long. Actually, I don't think I can read this. In the amount of time we got left, I'll finish it a week from tomorrow. I'll keep it open.
So I read something kind of strange.
Oh, do tell.
Bigfoot raids marijuana grow shed in Minnesota.
That's my old stomping grounds, Tom.
Oh, God.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, go ahead.
All right, well, this comes from Phantoms and Monsters, which, of course, is Lon Strickler's page.
Yeah.
This is actually reported just on Friday, this last Friday. And it says, first, I want to state the following. I believe this is to be an absolute truthful account of what I'm about to describe. In fact, I mentioned and discussed the incident with Phantoms and Monsters 14 research team right after I talked to the witness. With that being said, here's the account. I was contacted by BR by telephone. The witness had several questions about Bigfoot before he told me he had an encounter. The reason for the question was because BR did not believe in the phenomena until he had this experience. He seemed reluctant to talk at first, but was assured that I had heard many hard-to-believe Bigfoot encounters over the years. Little did I know, I was about to hear a remarkable account. BR, a licensed personal use medical marijuana grower who resides in Minnesota. The general location of the incident is Carleton County in a forested area near the Kettle River. In order to avoid theft of his plants, BR built a secure 10 by 12 foot grow shed on a piece of property that he owned. The shed was built out of reinforced cement blocks with vertical steel girders placed every 6 inches. Oh my God, this thing's a vault.
Yeah, it is.
Along the inside wall. He also had heavy steel vault doors fitted with a large tempered lock. The inside of the shed is 8 foot from ceiling to floor with heating, humidity control, grow lights, etc. The entire setup was very expensive, including the electrical service that he had to wire in from the main grid. Needless to say, BR did not want any persons messing with his plants.
Clearly.
Yeah. According to BR, he kept anywhere from 15 to 20 plants at a time. He was also growing for 2 other licensed medical marijuana users. This system had been going well for over a year without any incidents. A few months ago, BR traveled to his grow shed and immediately noticed that the steel door vault had been tampered with. There were scratches all around the outside of the face of the door, and the jamb had been slightly bent away from the cement blocks. It was difficult for BR to open the door after unlocking it. He figured that someone had attempted to force their way into the shed. Duh. But were unable to gain access. Duh. None of the other plants were tampered with, so BR fixed the door and added reinforcement. Everything seemed fine for about 3 weeks, but then there was another attempt to break into the shed. This time a large hole was created through the cement wall, and one of the steel girders had been pushed out of its mooring in the concrete floor.
Oh, my God.
Whoever gained access was able to reach into the shed and pull up a few plants. BR was confounded by the effort taken in order to gain access. There was snow on the ground, and it indicated that there had been significant activity, but BR didn't notice any prints or other evidence. Not a shoe print or a track or of any equipment that could have been used to breach the concrete.
Wow.
A few nights later, everything seemed to be quiet. The only movement that he noticed on the forest was a visit from a black bear and an occasional deer. Then the evening around twilight, he heard crackling sounds coming from the direction of the shed. There was enough light to see a movement, and the lights around the shed had not come up since it was on a timer. Stepping away around the shed was an 8 to 9 foot tall Bigfoot carrying at least 6 plants. As BR watched, he observed the creature literally place one of his long stems into the plant, into its mouth, and strip the leaves and buds off. He watched the Bigfoot chew, and that's where we're going to leave it. And maybe I'll remember to do it next week. But Bigfoot stole his buds.
Wow.
Paisley Wild next on TFR, and then, of course, Duke afterwards.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you in a week. We love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic. And remember to smile. Love you guys.
Good night to Diana for our call in. Thank you.
Censorship.